Welcome to Beyond the Pages, the podcast where books breathe, characters whisper, and stories echo far beyond the final chapter. I am your host.
Oh, come on, what? You're not. Sorry guys, that was my little sister. She was trying to steal my podcast. So, starting from the beginning, welcome to, or you know what? I'm not gonna repeat. So today, and as my sister told you, we're gonna take you into a story that dances between fantasy and philosophy. A tale of lost time, stolen joy, and the quiet power of truly listening. This is the world of the masterpiece Momo. There was once a girl named Momo. No one knew exactly where she came from. She didn't have a family or a last name, or even shoes. She lived in the ruins of an old, nameless city, surrounded by wildflowers and broken stone. But there was something magical about Momo. Not in the sense of wands or spells as we used to. No, her magic was simpler and rarer. She listened. And I don't mean she just sat there nodding while people spoke. I mean really listened. The kind of listening that makes you hear yourself better. The kind of silence that makes space for truth to show up. Her friends loved her for this. Children from all over the city would come to play around the rooms. Children adored her. They came from all over, not because Momo owned the latest toys or told jokes, but because with her play felt real, boundless, and creative. She had a way of turning a pile of sticks into a castle, a story, and a world. With Momo, imagination wasn't a luxury, it was freedom. Adults, they came too. Old people, the street sweeper, Gigi, the tour guide and storyteller, housewives, tailors, bakers. Everyone used to come to her. They found themselves wandering to the amphitheater when the weight of the world got too heavy. What they found in Momo wasn't advice. It wasn't solutions. It was silence, space, a kind of presence that made their problems solved on their own. But then, it all began to change. It started suddenly. A new face in the neighborhood, a man in grey suit, thin, pale, and smoky. Not just because of his ever-burning cigar, but his very presence seemed dusty, like something forgotten, misplaced, and wrong. And then another, and one another. Soon, there were dozens of them, the men in grey. They weren't criminals, not in the traditional sense. They wore no masks, carried no weapons. Instead, they carried numbers. They introduced themselves as the agents of the time-saving bank. And their statement was simple. Why waste time? Why squander your precious minutes in idle chatter, on play, on waiting? We can help you to invest your time, save it, use it efficiently. Work now, enjoy later.
Sounds smart, doesn't it? People brought into it quietly, literally. They stopped visiting friends, cut short their dinners, rushed their conversation, stopped painting, stopped playing, stopped resting. Everything became urgent, scheduled, optimized. Even the way they walked changed faster, eyes down, breath short. Children's games became rehearsed, joyless. Gigi stopped telling stories. Beppo became quiet, and Momo watched it all slip away.
She didn't understand how could people who once laughed and dreamed and played freely become shadows of themselves. So she began to ask questions. She followed one of the men in grey, not out of anger, but with curiosity, the way only a child can be brave. What she discovered was horrible. These men didn't just convince people to give up their time, they fed on it. Like vampires, they stored it in grey cigars and smoked it to survive. They were parasites, living on the unlived hours of others. And the more time people saved, the more hollow their lives became. And then there was a turtle, a real turtle, that could write words in her shell, and she could see 30 seconds into the future. That turtle appeared just when Momo needed her, like all true guides in fantasy tales do. She led Momo on a journey beyond the borders of time itself, to the hidden home of Professor Hora, the mysterious keeper of all time. He lived in a place where every moment of every living being floated in shimmering blossoms. Momo stood in wonder, watching the hours of children play like soft petals, while the 100 hours of tired workers glowed dull and heavy. Here, she learned the secret. Time is not something we own or save. It's a gift, given moment by moment to be lived, not hoarded.
But to stop the men in gray, Momo would have to do something. Impossible. Comfort them alone, without help. No spells, no swords, no armies. Just her silence, her listening, her presence. And this is where Momo becomes more than just a children's book.
The writer wrote Momo not just to entertain, but to warn. He saw the creeping mechanization of life, the obsession with productivity, the erosion of leisure, the loss of deep human connection. And that was in the 1970s. Now, look around. How often do we save time only to lose ourselves? We speed through meals, we skip sleep, turn play into performance. We measure worth by productivity and we scroll endlessly. We keep consuming and consuming while our own moments fade into grey. The men in grey, they are not fantasy. They are here. They wear different clothes, maybe. They sit in our phones, our calendars, our apps. They whisper, keep going, don't rest, time is money and hustle harder. But Momo offers something radical, a reminder that being fully present, truly listening even for a moment, is a fight against the modern world, and maybe it's the only one that matters. Momo, she didn't defeat the men in grey with violence, she didn't outsmart them with tricks. She simply held space, she remained human in a world forgetting what humanity means. And that broke their power. So what do we take beyond the pages? That presence is power, that silence is sacred, that every moment is a gift, and the truest way to thank time is to live it. Put down the to-do list, look up and breathe, and maybe, just maybe, take 5 minutes to really listen to someone like Momo did.
Thank you for joining me and my sister in this quiet journey beyond the pages of Momo. Until next time, slow down, listen deeply, and don't forget the most powerful magic is presence.